All right, guys. Today we are going to get into. There's a new post from Reuters about home distilling, banning home distilling is illegal. To ban home distilling. We're going to get into that and so much more. Let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back. Sorry, I already need a drink of water. Damn. All right, it's hot in the shed. It's hot. I'm sweating for y'all. Sweating for y'all. I hope you can hear me well. I think you can. Today we are going to get into this Reuters thing. Now, what does that have to do with whiskey? Answer me that. What does that have to do with it? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Actually, a whole lot. So first, we're going to caveat inside a story, inside a backstory, inside a jellyfish. It's going to get crazy. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to lean back for a second. He's already leaning back. It's been a good week. A little difficult, not going to lie. Let's get into it. This is all housekeeping, this part right here. If you want to fast forward a little bit, go ahead. We'll get into the meat and taters here in a minute. So let's no. Stop myself right there. So if you already fast forwarded, I'm sorry. No, I'm going to stop myself right there because let's get into this Reuters thing because it is new hot goss, and I think we all need to be part of it. Okay. No, I don't want a Range Rover. Sorry. So Reuters is, I don't know if they're a great source of whatever, information, if you want to call it that. Those of you at home, or those of you on the Patreon, will be able to see. Actually, I'm not sharing my screen, so you won't be able to see it. Hold on, let me do that. Just for the ones at home. Yes, share screen. Shut up. Okay, so it says here on Reuters, as of July 11th, that was yesterday, a federal judge in Texas has ruled that a 156-year-old ban on home distilling is unconstitutional, siding with the group that advocates the legalization of the ability to produce spirits like whiskey and bourbon for personal consumption. U.S. District Judge Mark Pittman, an appointed Republican, it doesn't freaking matter. The Hobby Distillers Association lawyer, longstanding ban, blah, blah, blah. He issued a permanent injunction barring the ban from being enforced against Hobby Distillers Association members. But it only lasted for 14 days. It was a Texas-based hobby group, blah, blah, blah. The U.S. Department of Justice, which defends the law, did not respond. The hobby group, along with 4 of its 1,300 members, sued agency tasked with enforcing the ban in December, arguing that the government's regulatory reach could not be extended to the activities of conduct within their home. If you're doing it in your house, they can't tell you what to do, basically. They filed a lawsuit against the TTB. Oh my God. This is hot goss right here. There's the member received an unsolicited letter from the TTB facing potential civil and criminal liabilities after this. That he may have purchased materials that could be used to distill spirits. You can't even purchase them. And that is illegal. That is illegal. You can't tell me what to purchase, right? I can have a bong as long as I'm not smoking marijuana out of it, right? There's nothing against having a bong, right? So it's the same thing. I can have a still in my house. Maybe I want to have it in my shed where like I want people to see it, I'm not going to use it. The justice argued that the ban measured design was to protect the substantial revenue that the government raises from taxing distilled spirits by limiting where plants could be located. Oh, the government wants their money. Sorry. I'm trying to read this and kind of summate it for you. While prohibiting the possession of a at-home still means that the distilled beverage might be convenient for tax revenue, it is not sufficient or clear a positive power of collecting taxes. So here's the deal. I'm not 100% sure of this, and we'll get into it. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna quit sharing this screen real fast. Sorry guys. Like, just bear with me. I didn't go to that one. Okay. So here's the deal. Why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about this Reuters thing that says basically none of this is constitutional? Well, because it's not. Because it's not. It's really all about, and I'm not trying to be political or any of those things, right? It's really all about the government trying to get their money from you. That's all it's about. Here's the deal. Here's how I feel personally about home distillation, right? I feel like this, and I think you guys have heard this multiple times at this point. I feel personally that if I can make 100 gallons of wine or 100 gallons of beer at my house, I should be able to make, even if it's less than that, say 50 gallons of liquor, I can still get the same drunk. You know what I mean? Here's the caveat. I will even go this far. You have to be certified. You have to take a certification course to be able to be a home distiller, right? Have certified, even take pictures of your setup to make sure that it's safe. I get the safety aspect of it, right? I do get that. Am I against it? Absolutely. I should be able to do whatever the hell I want to do in my house, no matter what. They don't come into my bedroom, if you know what I mean, right? Or maybe they do. Who knows? They come into some of y'all's bedrooms. But like, I should be able to do in my own house, at my own property, I should be able to do whatever I want. This is a free country as of right now. Am I right? So here's the thing, though. It's difficult because it's fighting an uphill battle for the home distilling community, and I support the home distilling community. I have since Jesse was a floating head in his shed. You know what I mean? Like Jesse from Still It, that is, if y'all don't know. I've supported that because to me the mystique, the whole part of like, hey, I can make this whiskey. I could grab this bottle and I could put whiskey in it. I'm not trying to sell it. I'm not trying to make whiskey to sell, right? Here's the deal. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to start out with a soapbox journey, but you would have to have such a huge still to be able to do it commercially without a license, right? Most, and I'm not saying all, but most hobby distillers are using anywhere from a 10 to a 25 gallon still. At one time, the amount of alcohol that they can make wouldn't even fill up a 5-gallon barrel. 1 5-gallon barrel, right? Okay. Yeah, so you get where I'm going there, right? It's another money grab. And here's the deal. I've talked to many home distillers, and they would say, I will pay the taxes. They want to be able to, and this is another legality thing that we need to talk about, I guess. They need to be able to test their product. You know what I mean? Because, like, let's say this. I'm going to stop right there for a real fast. So I am actually drinking today Bruichladdich 18. Yeah. So let's say I had a bottle of Brooklady 18 and I wanted you to try it. I do. I want you to try it. I can't ship it to you. It's illegal. It's illegal to ship alcohol. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand hazmat purposes. I get that. I understand underage drinking purposes. I get that as well. The thing I don't get, and I will never get, and I will never understand, is I am shipping to a legal adult of my own accord. If it breaks, it breaks. No insurance, no anything, or maybe you put insurance on it, but still, I have received bottles that are broken. Yeah, I have, and it sucks. I have received bottles that were leaking. Mm-hmm. But yet the big companies can do it. But yet I can't send you, the listener, I can't send you a sample of my infinity barrel, right? I can't send you a sample of that legally, So it all goes back to the same thing that we talk about over and over and over again. It goes back to, and I'm not trying to go there. It goes back to the government sticking their foot in a place just to make extra money. If we would stop doing some of the things, some of the things that we are already doing as a conglomerate, if we would stop doing those things and focus on internal affairs, right? And quit worrying about what Billy's doing in his garage. Who cares about Billy? Billy blows himself up. That's on him, right? That's what I'm talking about. Distiller safety, right? That I feel like if they were to legalize it, and this might get some flack, and that's okay. If they were to legalize home distillation in America, right? I feel like there should be some sort of certification, some sort of class you would have to take to know what you're doing, just so you don't kill yourself. You make crappy whiskey, you make crappy gin, whatever. I don't care. Is it going to kill somebody? That's all you need to know. This is methanol. This is ethanol. I don't care how you do your cuts. I don't care how you do anything. Don't blow up. That's the main thing. Do not blow up. So it's not that hard. It's really not. It's really not that hard. But at the same time, some people don't understand the world. I guess I don't really get it. I don't understand the outside influence. I feel like we should be able to do the things that we want to do in this free world, right? We are already very limited in the things that we get to do. I feel like another one, and this is caveat on that, but like I feel like another one is, why are you telling me it's illegal not to wear your seatbelt? Why is that illegal? That should not be illegal. Who am I endangering? Myself, right? If I want to be stupid and not wear my seatbelt, there's sometimes I don't wear my seatbelt. The issue is the damn ding, 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 ding. It's crazy. It drives me insane. Like, I'll be getting out to open a gate and drive through the gate and have to get out and, close the gate back and do all the things. And it's like the damn thing won't stop dinging. Like, seriously. So how does that hurt anybody other than myself? Right? And it's not the same as home distillation. I get that, because if I gave you a bottle of spirits that I distilled and it made you sick or made you possibly die, that's on me, right? And I guess the government doesn't want that on their conscience, like they had one in the beginning. But what was the deal with home brew? I can make somebody very sick with beer, very sick, possibly kill them. Probably not. You're not going to kill them with ethanol either. You're just going to make them sick. I think it's a lot of nomenclature. It's a lot of BS. It's a lot of things. All right. So we're switching gears. This is going to be a multitude of different topics, but cheers. Okay. Did I already tell you why we're cheersing? Shit. Never mind. Doesn't matter. I get sidetracked real fast. Real. Okay. So, what I wanted to talk to you guys about before we get into the next topic is I have some reviews. Yeah, I do. I have some reviews. They are going to remain anonymous because I don't, they're not, being crappy or nothing like that, but I want them to be able to, just be anonymous because I don't want to put anybody on blast. And if you don't like the things that they said or whatever, I don't want it to turn into a damn thing. You know what I mean? So there's two that I picked out and please, this is a perfect time for it. We're 15 minutes in. I need more 5-star reviews. I don't care what you say in the review, but I need more 5-star reviews on Spotify, Apple, Amazon. There's really not many people on Amazon. If you're on Amazon, you can get it on Audible as well. There's Audible podcast. But anyway, Amazon, Spotify, those are the big ones. Podbean, all the other ones, they're out there, but you got to search me out actively on all the other ones. So this is, I don't remember where these came from exactly, but here's two of them. So I'm just going to read them. From Anonymous. Brother, you're awesome. Thank you very much. But you have to be more confident. Stop answering your insecurities to the audience. Okay? That doesn't, the audience that doesn't know you're responding to, right? I get what he's trying to say, right? Just do you and go with it. Go with your gut. No apologies to the audience that wants to hear you. I'm a fan. Honest criticism. I appreciate it, brother. Don't stop the flow to explain your reason. Go hard on your content and believe in what you're doing. It gets a little explicit, and I'm going to say what they said. Fuck anybody that complains or they're just to shit on people's day. And don't worry about the subscriptions. They will come. And even me, fuck my opinion. Just do you without worrying about other people's opinions. Brother, you know who you are. I love you. I really do. That means a lot. And I do take that to heart because I know there are people out there that are just doing the grab. They're doing the money grab. They're doing the thing. I want to be as genuine as possible. I hope I am. If I'm not, let me know. Please let me know if I'm not being genuine. How many times have we cried on this podcast? You know what I mean? Like, it's a thing. Okay, so let's read the second one. Then we'll go from there. Randall. That's my real name, if you guys didn't know that already. You are amazing. It's a hard road. You are not talking about all the hype stuff and doing all the crazy editing and cinema type photography, which is why I and all of us like to watch and listen. You are real, and being real is always the harder way to go. You keep doing what you're doing. I feel like there's a shift in this world's viewership and in YouTube and podcasting as a whole in the future, where the real will come up to the top and the pretty and less authentic will start to fall off. And he shouts out Germ. So shout out Germ. Germ was spot on. I want more real Randall, not the over-edited one. The world changes. People aren't so sensitive, and they crave a honest reaction. Honest reaction. That's the thing. They crave an honest reaction. Well, you want an honest reaction. That's all I can be, is brutally honest. Oh, I made it. Yeah. I can only be honest. I can only be myself. Let's get into this Brookalotti. I have a video for this actual whiskey. I did it right before I got on here. It will be out on YouTube very shortly, within a couple days. This will come out. I'm turning and burning this one, guys. I told the Patreons, and this is inside baseball, and I don't care. I told the Patreons that I normally release this episode on Wednesday to them. right? Because I like to give them early access to everything, and they get video format and stuff like that. But I said, bro, I just got back from the beach. We're going to talk about that too. I just got back from the beach. I am burnout. I got a long work week. I'm going to see what I can do, but I'm not making any, things. So, wife took the kids to the pool before, I don't know, it might be raining on them. Who knows? And so I went in the shed. I said, hey, I'm going to do a couple videos. I'm actually going to be on a live stream after this with Doc Martinez from Old Fashioned Ways. So, cheers to Doc. If you don't know Doc Martinez, he's on YouTube. Old Fashioned Ways. He makes a lot of old fashions. He's made over 100 different old fashions, different simple syrups. He uses different liquors, mainly whiskey. Like really expensive ones, really cheap ones. He tried to do the Traveler whiskey like 4 different times. They all sucked. Whatever. But anyway, this Bruichladdich 18 is absolutely amazing. Absolutely. So good. 50% alcohol. Okay, so let's talk. Shifting gears again. We're at 21 minutes, 20 whatever minutes. We're shifting gears again. So we talked about the home distilling thing, right? Now, how does that tie into real whiskey makers, right? I call them real whiskey makers. So the next wave, Alan Bishop says this all the time. The next wave of craft distillers are the home distillers right now. The guys doing the weird shit in the shed are the ones that are going to be those craft distillers working for Cedar Ridge and working for Andalusia. My buddy Moose, guess what he did before? Yep. Okay. So that moves us on to this. We're going to, okay, wait, I have 3 different topics. I don't know if we'll get into all 3. Let's just start. We're going to talk about a couple of horror stories. Now, not the ones you're thinking of. That comes out in October, around Halloween, Samhain, as we call it. The Eve of All Saints. Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that later. So here are some horror stories from craft distilleries. Now, the horror story meaning like bad things that have happened. Now, I pulled this off a wiki and where was it? Google. Okay, so this one, I'm throwing it out there. I'm on the fence. Okay, so I'm going to tell you. Balcones Distilling feud. Yeah. Balcones Distilling, based in Waco, is well known for its award-winning craft whiskeys. However, in 2013, the distillery was embroiled in a bitter feud between its co-founder Chip Tate and the board of directors. The conflict included allegations of financial mismanagement, threats of violence, and a lawsuit. At one point, Tate was suspended and barred from the distillery premises. The legal battle ended with Tate leaving the company he founded, casting a shadow over the distillery's operations and reputation for a time. Okay, I haven't personally talked to Chip Tate at all. I don't know. I am not a legend, out calling anybody out. I don't know Chip Tate at all. I barely know Jared Hempstead. Things happen in a distillery when you have people working. Does that make sense? It's a job, just like any other job. Your job is just to make whiskey, right? So take that for what it is. But how do I say this without being stupid? I don't want to put anybody on a pedestal and say, hey, he did the right thing. But then also, I don't want to knock his knees out from underneath him and call him a piece of shit. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. I wasn't there. The people around it know what's going on. I would actually love to get Chip Tate on and just kind of talk about it. If he might not be able to, but that would be a different thing. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. It's very controversial, and we just had Emma from Balcones on. Love Emma with all my heart. She's a great person. I would never want to scar her reputation by some of the things that I personally say on this podcast. So I in no way endorse or whatever the other word is, the sentence, like what they said is what they said. Uh, that's from Wiki. So take that for what it is. I don't have a cat in the game, if that makes sense. Or skin in the game, whatever whatever that is. Okay, so the second one is a little less, you know, uh, hurting my futures. Well, I mean, I guess all of these could hurt my futures if you want to talk about it. Anyway, the collapse of the Kings County distillery roof. Yeah. So if you know Kings County, they're based out of Brooklyn, New York. And we just talked to Irene Tan, who did a collaboration with them for the King's Code, right? So again, circles. In 2017, Kings County experienced a significant setback when a portion of the roof on their aging warehouse collapsed. While no one was injured, the collapse resulted in the loss of several barrels of aging whiskey, causing financial strain and production delays. The incident highlighted the challenges of craft distilleries to face maintaining their aging infrastructure. And that's the other thing. Like a lot of these places are using like old warehouses and stuff like that to put their sorry, every time I'm on here, people start texting me. I keep my phone there to keep track of time, right? They just start texting me and shit like that. So, yeah, they use old buildings. They use all of these old things, and it's like they need maintenance. They need maintenance. And I feel, and I don't know this for a fact. Sorry, my mustache is sticking in the mic again. I need to trim the old stash. I feel like, and I have no basis behind this, but I feel like aging alcohol, angel share, actually contributes to the degradation of roofs and buildings, right? Because you think about alcohol evaporating, it's going somewhere. It's going in the air. It's going all over the rafters. It's going all over the metal structure. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that has something to do with it. Maybe it was just an old crappy building. Who knows? Okay, so I don't know if we've ever talked about Corsair. Yeah, Corsair Distilling. Corsair Distilling and their unexpected fire. A lot of distilleries catch on fire. I'm just sorry. Corsair Distillery, a well-known craft distillery located in Tennessee and Kentucky, whatever, faced a major crisis back in 2013 when a fire broke out in their Bowling Green, Kentucky facility. The fire caused significant damage in their product and equipment and the facilities. No one was injured, but the financial impact was substantial, and it took considerable efforts to resource and rebuild and resume normal operations. That sucks, man. But you have to think about it. When you have 50 ABV plus alcohol aging in a warehouse, stuff gets volatile, especially during the heat of the day. All that alcohol's rising. Yeah. Okay, so this one, I need a drink real fast. Water. Sorry, I'm silly. Quit being silly. Let's go. Okay, I don't really know how to say this. Tut Hill Down. Nope, Tut Hill Town. Tut Hill Town Spirits. In 2012, Tut Hill Down Spirits in Gardner, New York. So I looked them up actually, and it is Hudson Distilling. They make what is it called? Baby Hudson Bay. Yeah, Hudson Baby. Anyway, I don't really care for them too much. Anyway, they suffered a massive explosion in their bottling room. The explosion caused by a build-up of ethanol vapors, injuring one worker and causing extensive damage to the facilities. The incident led to an increased scrutiny on their safety practices within the distillery and highlighted potential dangers involving the craft distillery. Man, that sucks. That sucks. You're sitting there bottling some whiskey, whatever. Boom! The whole damn thing blows up. Like, what the heck? What's going on? That's crazy. Okay, so number 5. The fall of a rising star. Oh. Old Potrero Distillery. Old Potrero is a part of Anchor Distilling Company in San Francisco. They faced a significant scandal in 2017 when their parent company was sold, and the new owners decided, we're not going to use Old Potrero whiskey line. The sudden decision shocked the craft distillery community, as Old Potrero had garnered a loyal following. The brand's disappearance was a blow to the craft whiskey enthusiasts and highlighted the volatility of the craft spirit market. That's pretty crazy. So they were over there, making our whiskey. It's fine, whatever. The big boss comes in after they sold the company and says, "No, we're shutting production now. Y'all go home." Huh? Excuse me? What? Oh God. That's crazy. That is crazy to me. Okay. So now we're going to talk about some big dogs. Yeah, some issues with big dogs. And by big dogs, I mean Jim Beam, Buffalo Trace, Heaven Hill, Wild Turkey, Four Roses, Old Forester. Those guys. There is it's not a wasp. It's a dirt dauber, but he keeps freaking me out in here. All right. It's same types of stories. Ready? Number 1, Jim Beam Suntory. There was a fire. A massive fire broke out in one of Jim Beam's warehouses in Woodford County, Kentucky, destroying about 45,000 barrels of aging bourbon. The fire lasted for hours, and he is literally in my face. Like, back up, homie. Sorry, he's attacking me. The fire lasted for hours and required multiple fire departments bring it under control. The environmental impact was also significant, with bourbon runoff affecting the nearby waterway. Wah, wah, wah. I mean, okay, so let's do we talk about that? Screw it. Let's talk about it. Now I want some Jim Beam. No. Okay. Whiskey is a solvent, right? It's made, and whenever it's dumped into rivers or lakes or whatever by accident, obviously. There was a scandal actually here in my town. Yeah, let's talk about that first. Just a split second. It's in line with this. It is a gasoline company. They have a gas station, multiple actually, and they were picking up gas from their supplier, where because they don't have the gas, the derricks or whatever you call them. They were picking up gas, and when they drove off, I don't remember if they didn't close the valve, right? Or what, but they leaked the entire tanker full of gas all over the road. No. What was it? They had stopped because they had a pressure sensor or something that said, hey, something's leaking. They go out there and it starts leaking, and they had parked right next to the river. Why? I don't know. Literally that entire tanker full of gasoline dumped into the river because the valve broke or whatever happened. They got sued. It was a big ordeal. Anyway, so whiskey is the same. You got a bunch of drunk ass fish. That's all I'm gonna say. You have some drunk fish. Could it kill them? Yeah, probably could. The water's not safe to drink, but you have to think about it. A river or a stream is running, right? So as you're dumping, yes, initial impact is like, whoa, what's going on? But like, it clears it out. I mean, I'm not justifying it at all. Like, it was a crappy thing that happened, but it does wash out. The water above it pushes the other water down. Yes, it affects as it goes, but it also dilutes as it goes. Does that make sense? Gasoline's a little bit different because it doesn't mix as well with water, right? Alcohol is just going to dilute and turn into, like, 5% water going down the river, and next thing you know, it goes to the Gulf, and there's nothing, or wherever. So that's interesting. Okay, let's talk about Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace, Sazerac. They're the same, right? Yeah, owned by Sazerac, which is, everything's owned by Sazerac. So they had a near closure in the early 1990s. Yeah. Buffalo Trace, originally known as George T. Stagg Distillery. Yeah. They faced significant challenges in the late 20th century. Bourbon was declining in popularity, and the distillery struggled to stay afloat. I'm sorry. The facility was nearly shuttered, but the increase in demand and strategic investments helped to recover and thrive. I call bullshit. I said it. I'm sorry. It's going to be one of those episodes, guys. Sorry. Buffalo Trace is a huge conglomerate. They didn't almost fall. They're fine. They are fine. They might have lost 3% of their whiskey revenue. They also make Wheatley vodka. They're pretty good. They don't have a problem. Just saying, they don't have a problem. That's BS. It's not BS. I mean, I'm sure they took a hit in the 90s when everybody was going for gin and vodka because they thought that white spirits were less calories or whatever. Number 3, Heaven Hill. There was a fire in 1996. Heaven Hill experienced one of the most devastating fires in bourbon history. The blaze destroyed 7 rick houses. Holy crap. So if you can find some 96 Heaven Hill, that's what I'm saying right there. That is some tater juice. And the distillery in Bardstown. Oh my God. Despite the massive loss, the company managed to continue producing in its other facilities, eventually rebuilding and continuing as one of the largest family-owned bourbon producers. And it is. They make the most whiskey. They make the most whiskey. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Elijah Craig. Knob? Is it Knob too? Anyway, doesn't matter. Jim Beam? Right. No, not Jim Beam. Never mind. I'm stupid. Elijah Craig, Heaven Hill, Larceny. It doesn't matter. Keep going. All right. One of my personal favorites, number 4, Wild Turkey. Yeah. Campari. Fire of 2000. That's what his headline. Fire of 2000. A fire at the Wild Turkey warehouse in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, destroyed 17,000 barrels of whiskey. The fire caused extensive damage and led to significant loss of inventory. Despite the setbacks, the brand managed to rebuild and maintained its reputation. Huh. That's strange. It's funny how they all happened in the 90s. Huh. It's weird. All right. Four Roses. Let's talk about them. Struggles in the mid-20th century. So everybody struggled in the early 2000s, I guess. Four Roses faced significant market challenges, particularly with its parent company, Seagram's, deciding to pull the brand from U.S. market and focus on Europe and Japan. The brand nearly disappeared from American shelves, but was revitalized by the early 2000s by new ownership and a return to high-quality bourbon production. High quality. I do like Four Roses. It's actually really good. They're small batch select. They're single barrels. Really good, actually. They're underrated, I would say. What do y'all think? In the comments, let me know. Oh, where are we? Okay, we're on number 6, Old Forester, also known as Brown-Forman. So, like many distilleries, Old Forester struggled during Prohibition, 1920 to 1933. It was one of the few distilleries granted a license to produce medicinal whiskey, which allowed it to survive that era. However, the challenges of this period left a lasting imprint on the company. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Yes, prohibition was horrible for distilleries, and the ones that got the medicinal license, they're fine. They're fine. Old Forester was the first to go to bottle. God, I'm getting old, I guess. I'm sick of the bullshit, I guess. I don't know. Okay. So let's talk about some notable issues that happened with bourbon. This is mainly bourbon. Even though we're drinking an 18-year-old scotch, that's what we do on this podcast. We drink old scotch and talk about bourbon. No. We don't talk about bourbon a whole lot. That dirt dauber is going to be the death of me. We don't talk about bourbon a lot. We did, 5 episodes on scotch. I need to do some episodes on bourbon. If y'all want to hear that, let me know in the comments. Give me a review and let me know. I might put a poll. I tried to put a poll the last time. I totally forgot. I'm sorry, guys. I'm fighting for my life over here. This freaking dirt dauber is going to eat my face off. Anyway. All right. Let's look at this. This is some cool stuff. I think. I don't know. You tell me what you think. The murder of Thomas P. Rippey. Old Rip Van Winkle. Thomas P. Rippey, the prominent distiller and one of the founders of the Rippey Brothers Distillery in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, was murdered in 1893. The circumstances of his murder remain a bit murky, but it's believed he was killed by a disgruntled employee or a rival. His death marked a dark chapter in history of the distillery, which later became known as the Old Rip Van Winkle brand. I'm going to tell you my thoughts, and these are my opinions and no one else's. I do feel like it was a rival. We've talked about the big 6, right? The big 6 distilleries multiple times. It was one of the other 6. Just saying. They were trying to take him out. Because the least people you have to compete with, the more money you can make. Amen? Okay. During Prohibition, 1920 to 1933, that will stay in infamy forever for us. Illegal production and distribution of whiskey was led to widespread violence and corruption. Many distillers and bootleggers were involved in organized crimes. For instance, George Remus, a notorious bootlegger and former pharmacist, built a massive bootlegging empire. Was known for a lavish lifestyle. Remus was eventually convicted of violating the Volstead Act and sentenced to 2 years in prison. That's all he got, was 2 years. After his release, he murdered his wife in a fit of rage, leading to further legal troubles at another prison. So he got another 2 years for killing his wife. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, he's a big deal. And so now there's a whiskey out there called Remus. Celebrating this guy who stole other people's whiskey, slapped his label on it, and then killed his wife. That's awesome. Let's drink his whiskey. And I'm on one tonight, guys. The beating of E.H. Taylor. Yeah. Edmund Hayes Taylor Jr., a key figure in the bourbon industry and founder of the Old Taylor Distillery, faced numerous threats and physical violence throughout his career. One notable incident, Taylor was severely beaten by competitors who were unhappy with his efforts to improve the quality and standards of bourbon production. Despite these threats, Taylor continued to be an advocate for high standard and remember as a pioneer in the industry. Put a pin in that. We're going to go through the other ones and we'll come back to that one. I got some words. I'm sorry. If this episode sucks, I'm very sorry. So, what I'm going to do is this. I think the Bercolotti 18 is amazing, but I've already had one sample of it. So, I think we need to pull just a little bit off of the old Infinity barrel. The color's excellent on it. It's got some American single malt, some scotchies. What else does it have in it? A little bit of Jesse's corn liquor in there. All kinds of stuff, man. It's good stuff. Let's get into the next one. Let's get into the next one while that breathes a second. The Weller family feud. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Wellers had it too. And it's funny, all of these are now owned. Well, not George Remus. All of these are now owned by Buffalo Trace. Or says right. The Weller family, known for the W.L. Weller brand, has shared internal conflicts. In the late 1800s, a dispute over control of the family business led to several violent confrontations. While there were no murders directly linked to these disputes, intense rivalry of legal battles within the family were a significant part of the brand's history. But you got to think about it, like we talked multiple times. Like, owning a distillery is hard. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of liquor. You're drinking a lot. Most people know how to keep it under control, but some don't, and you taste too many barrels one day, and next thing you know, you're fighting your brother. It is what it is. Okay, number 5. Then we go back to E.H. Taylor, right? Jail time for Jack Daniel's master distiller. Okay, let's go. Jesse Motlow, Motlow, who managed the Jack Daniel's distillery during the Prohibition, was involved in several illegal distillation operations. Motlow was arrested multiple times for producing and selling within violation of the Prohibition Act. He served jail time on several occasions, reflecting the widespread defiance of prohibition within the whiskey industry. Okay, he got busted for making whiskey when he wasn't supposed to make whiskey. He was supposed to make medicinal whiskey, which is a certain amount, certain gallons per month, year, week, who knows. I don't know anybody who's lived through Prohibition, so it's kind of one of those things. That, to me, the last one, yes, he got busted. It is what it is. The police got him. Yeah, sorry. But he was trying to make money to feed his family and the distillery's family, and he might have been doing a little bootlegging. Who gives a shit, right? Obviously, the government does, but who cares? Really? It's not a big deal. Okay. Let's go back to E.H. Taylor. Okay, so E.H. Taylor was beaten, right? Beaten several times. No, he was severely beaten by competitors who were unhappy with his efforts to improve the quality standards of bourbon. Okay. Again, this is personal opinion. Take this for what it is. It does not mean anything about anything. It's just some things I've heard in different realms. I missed that one. I missed it. Different realms of whiskey-dom. Okay. E.H. Taylor himself was knighted by the Queen. When that happened, it happened during a time when America was struggling. Okay, America was struggling hard. So he flew to or rode a boat or whatever to England, got knighted, I'm going to say it, got told some things that he needed to do. Shoot me. I'm sorry. At this point, I don't care anymore. He got told, hey, go over there and do this, follow these rules. And some of the other distillers, when he came back, he started putting new practices in place. And they're like, what the hell are you doing, bro? We're not doing that. He goes, yeah, the queen told me to do it, so we're going to do it. He's like, we don't follow the queen. Yeah, we did, bro. I don't know why he talks like a, Ninja Turtle or whatever. But I think that's the thing. I don't know. I have no factual evidence about this. I might be totally pulling this out of my butt. But I think that's what happened. He went over there. He got some information he probably didn't need. Why would he go over there anyway? It's proven. It's a proven record that he went to England and got knighted. A Kentucky distiller went over there and got knighted. Why? Why the hell would he need to go to England? Bourbon, here we go. Bourbon is America. Yes, you can make bourbon like spirits other places, but bourbon is for America. Why would you have a bourbon distiller go to England, right, and be knighted by the queen? That's sketchy as hell, dude. Not gonna lie, that's sketchy. Take that for what it is. Take it for what it is. As with all these podcasts, you take what you want and leave the rest, right? If you're like, he's out of his freaking mind, or he's making sense. He's making sense right there. Do I make sense? I don't know. All this shit's running in my head 24/7. When I go to bed at night, it ain't the monkey clanging bells. It's like, why was George Remus stealing other people's whiskey in the middle of the night? That's the type of stuff I think about. Like, I live and breathe this stuff, dude. Like, y'all need to understand that. Like, I am fully vested in this whiskey game. Okay, not just the whiskey drinking game, but the whiskey game in general. Like, I haven't done 72 podcasts by myself just to be like, oh, this crazy guy's just talking shit the whole time. No. Okay. Do I talk shit? Of course I do. I am a rambler by heart, and I'm sorry. But, okay, so the other thing is dispelling some myths, debunking myths about older whiskey is better, stuff like that. I think we'll save that for another, another episode. I feel like we did quite a bit this episode, so we'll leave it kind of at that. I understand that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, right? I'm not everybody's cup of tea. This podcast isn't for everybody. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm somebody's shot of whiskey. All right? That's my new slogan. No, it's already a slogan, so I can't trademark that. I can't trademark keep your spirits up either, but whatever. Because I don't have the money to trademark it, but whatever. So, I say all the things I said to say this. There's some crazy stuff going on. We all see it. We all feel it. We all hear it. And I'm not talking anything about what's going on right now. I'm talking about just in our personal life, right? In our whiskey life. I want to talk about another thing here in a second after I say this thought, and then I'll let you guys go, okay? There's a lot going on right now, and we need to stay very grounded in what we're doing and stick to our guns about how we feel about certain things. Like, I have some really cool guests coming on in the very near future that could hopefully change the podcast. Not change it in a bad way, change it in a good way. I'm hoping it will. Hoping it'll get a little more outreach, if that makes sense. A little more outside the norm. We have good listeners. All of you guys who are listening right now are freaking amazing. I love you all with my whole heart. You guys are the ones that keep me doing this for 72 times. And more. I can't wait till we get to 100. We're going to have a big celebration at 100. I'm just saying. Y'all better get ready. We're going to do a live stream on 100. Live podcast. Yep. We're going to do it. I just said it on the thing, so it has to happen, right, guys? And I want y'all to be there. I'll put posts and stuff for it, so y'all follow all my socials. But if you're not already, I'm doing some killer stuff on Instagram, TikTok. Actually, yeah, I post. It's the same stuff. I just posted on TikTok too. So it does get a little bit different because the algorithm's really different on TikTok, which I hate. I hate having to post and then repost and then post again. And, anyway, that doesn't matter. Where was I? I lost it. And I lost the other thing that I wanted to talk about. The let's talk about whiskey collecting real fast. We got 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. I don't have to be on the live stream for an hour, so I got a little bit, but I gotta get something to eat. Dude, that infinity barrel, just caveat off of everything, that infinity barrel. Okay, so I want to tell you what I did. Those of you who have been following me for a minute know that I'm a Texas whiskey lover, right? And I did a video a while back about putting stuff in the infinity barrel, right? And there was one whiskey that I tried multiple times. I've had 5 ounces of it probably at different points, and it's none other than the Modaset & Son Alexander. There's a single malt whiskey, Texas, more verde barrel finished. So more verde, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry, is like a sour wine finish. This is not a great whiskey. I'm just going to say it. And it's only 30 months old. 30 months. So it's not great. So I poured, I think, 8 ounces into the infinity barrel. It had a really sulfurous taste to it. Those of you on the Patreon will see that it is absolutely bone dry now. Why do you keep the bottle? Well, I don't know. Who knows? It'll go on the wall of fame, I guess. Anyway, I ended up, okay, so we did that Tolbardine in there, and it really gave some sherry notes in it. I ended up dumping the rest. I think it was about 4.5 ounces of the Alexander in here. And it really has rounded out that sherry note, made it almost port-like, a little earthy, turning out really good. And with it being damn near 90 degrees in the shed right now, this thing is going to, the oak, the New American White Oak that's on the front of this is going to impart flavor in that whiskey the longer it sits, right? So another thing I want to do is I want to put a couple of ounces of, of this Bruichladdich 18 in there. It's not sherried at all. It doesn't say that it is. It doesn't look that like it is. I just feel like it's going to give it a little depth, a little bit of depth. Like maybe 2 ounces. Like I don't like, that is my baby right now. I'll fight you for that. I'm sorry. I'm going, okay, let's talk about whiskey collecting. So those of you who have been following me for a minute know that I try to post stuff a lot of like the bottles that I've picked up and stuff like that. So I just, 2 days ago, 2 days ago, I got this Bruichladdich, and I picked up a Tawakara. Yeah, remember on the Texas episode, we were going to look into some Tawakara. I picked up a Tawakara. The only thing I'm concerned with Tawakara, and I'm going to get into it maybe by the next episode we do, the only issue I have with Tawakara is it says aged a minimum of 1 year. I might have got an old bottle. I don't know. It was at the Total Wines there. I might have got an old bottle. I could have swore all of their stuff was 2 years old now, at least 2 years old, which age doesn't matter, right? We learned that from Dad's hat. He had some 9-month-old rye that was freaking amazing, right? So age isn't a thing. I need to try it, open it up, try it. I'll do that. I might do that tomorrow. Sometime we're supposed to go watch a movie. I don't know. I ain't got no money for a movie. I just had my daughter's birthday. She just turned 17. My daughter, 17. Dude, I'm so freaking old. She's driving. She has a job. She has 2 jobs, actually. One of them, they don't ever, she works like once a month, maybe. I don't know what the hell the problem is. But anyway, it's crazy, man. It's crazy living life. Okay, let's talk about collecting. Sorry, I get off, then I get back on. It's like when you're on the interstate, you have to get off, get back on, get off, get back on. So I've been picking up bottles. Here's the thing, and most of you will understand me. Um, this hobby, or whatever you want to call it, is expensive. It's expensive. This bottle of Bruichladdich was rather expensive. That's more than I would probably spend in a couple of weeks on one bottle. Um, there's that. That kind of sucks. But then you run into bottles like I'm just picking up bottles that are sitting right here. This Benchmark Foolproof, which is this is the bottle from the Rio clone that we're doing. It's still sitting right there. Haven't tasted it yet. I might give it a sneaky taste here pretty soon. See if it needs more Amberana, because there's still that little bit of chunk of Amberana in here. And if it needs a little more, I think it was 18 hours on there. Might give it a little bit more, because I like that Amberana taste. I just don't want it to turn to cat pee. That's the only thing. We've already talked about that, right? Oh no, you're not on the Patreon, so we didn't talk about that. Okay. Okay, so I'm thinking about doing a Patreon, like a little blip of the videos I do just for Patreon on the regular feed, just like 10-15 minutes, so that they can get a taste of what we talk about. It's very unedited. It's very raw. I say a lot of ums and ands and all the things, but I think it would be good for them to see like the other side. Not that I'm putting on airs. I don't put on airs. It's just they get the they get the part where like I can be a little more laid back. Like I have topics that I want to go over, and I went over the topics. Now we're moving on, right? Whereas there I ramble a little more. That's pretty much it. Okay, so did we cover all the topics that I wanted to? Yeah, I feel like we did. I feel like we did fairly well. I want to hem it up a little bit, but at the same time, I feel pretty good about this one. I rambled a little bit, but that's okay. That's part of life. I feel like the reviews and the comments, if you guys have comments, please let me know, either here or on Instagram, _whiskey shaman. Just let me know, because I don't take those to heart, right? I don't take them to heart. But when they're like the ones that I have, right, the ones that I got, I do listen to them, and I care about what you guys say, because I care about you guys. I care about all of you out there listening. I care so much, because you guys are the ones that are listening. You guys are the ones that are making you be like, okay, cool, we got this. So I really okay. So whew, the next couple of people that we have on, not personal podcasts, but the next couple of people we have on, super cool, super fun, right? I really would like for you guys to share those. If you could share, sharing is caring, showing is growing. If you could share those, that'd be great. Share them to somebody. Your brother needs to listen to the next couple, right? Not your mom so much. Your mom's not going to really get it, but the one I have coming up really soon, I feel could change us. I'm hoping. I don't know. We'll see. But you guys won't see that for probably, I don't know, 6 weeks. Yeah, I'm that far out, which is great. The personal ones are pretty new, but the other ones are pretty far out. And I'm banging 2 out this next week. Just scheduling stuff. So yeah. It's gonna be a strange ride the next couple of weeks, because it's hot. Like right now I'm sweating in the shed, sweating so hard. And I appreciate you guys coming on this ride with me. I hate to say that because it sounds like the whiskey trip, and I don't want to sound like Mike. Big Chief. Big Chief. I love Big Chief. He's a great guy, but I don't want to, sound like him. So I thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and doing the thing. If there's any topics you want me to talk about, if there's anything, comments, concerns, please let me know. Whiskey Shaman Podcast at gmail.com. Please hit me up. I think we already talked about our sponsors, but if not, let's talk about them real fast. Z Smith Whiskey and Mixology. Zach is an amazing person doing amazing things in whiskey. He's a curator of whiskey. He does whiskey cocktails of the week. He does short stories of the week. He curates bar back stuff. He does it all. The man is a genius at what he does. Love him. And then Bad Motivator Barrels. Why they sponsor me, I don't know. Chris is a crazy man. He's a crazy. They just came out with a 5-gallon barrel. How much whiskey you got to put in a 5-gallon barrel? Oh my God. I could barely fill this one that's like 2. I've got like 7 bottles of whiskey that have got in here. Like, what the hell? It's pretty close to full. It's pretty close. But I'm like, what the heck, man? I got like $400 worth of whiskey in there. Anyway, I really appreciate Chris at Badmo and for hanging out with us. And again, if you guys want to get early access, other than this one, if you want to get early access or behind the scenes footage, extra episodes, please go to patreon.com/the whiskey shaman and we'll get you signed up. You can get in for as little as $1 a month. It's $1, dude. Come on, sign up. $1. $1. Now it doesn't get you much. I'll tell you that. Starting at the 5, and I thank you so much to the new patrons out there. Love you guys. Patreon shout outs. The next episode that I do will be Patreon shout outs. And I normally do the high tier shout outs, but since I don't have that many patrons, so I'm doing everybody. So my level 4 or the the high tier Patreon, I will have something special for y'all, just for y'all, because I love you guys. I love all of you guys, but those guys are supporting heavily monetarily, and I don't take that for granted at all. So I appreciate that, and I love you all. And be safe out there, please. It's hot. Drink water, please. And until next time, you know what to do. Keep your spirits up.